As a Yurok Indian, my reservation is the 34 miles along the Klamath River, from the mouth of the Klamath River at the Pacific Ocean up to the confluence of the Trinity River into the Klamath River. And here is where my people come from, Witchbooth, the current town of Witchpeck, and from Meta, where my great-gram is from, and I'm also from the Smith River up in the Crescent City area from my Tolowa people, and from the Chetco River from my Chetco people. I'm also from the Trinity River, which is the Hupa people. I was born there, I was raised there, and I considered myself a Hupa Indian for the longest time.
As a Yurok woman, I'm also a fisherwoman. The net is made out of nylon, and your fingers could get caught and cut off if you get twisted wrong. You should be physically familiar with your net to know from one end to the other and how to run a lead line, which is the bottom where it keeps the net anchored down, and your buoy line. It's helpful to know how to patch your net, how to restring the squares. Some people say it's good luck to have holes in your net so it fools the fish, and then they think they can pass through it, and then they end up getting caught. I wasn't raised in the spiritual way of being Yurok, but I am finding myself the spiritual way of Pomo, my dad's people. And they dance in a roundhouse, and the way that they dance is they dance for people who are sick, who can't dance for themselves, and to have a good time and to interact with everyone else. We have songs that are allowed to be sung in the public, and there are songs that are specifically for the roundhouse. There's protocol, tradition, the respect for your elders, the way you present yourself and carry yourself. Especially if you're a traditional dancer or singer, you're not supposed to do drugs or drink. You abstain from sex. You don't dance on your moon. You don't let your stuff be handled by other people that are possibly disrespectful in that way.
For our dances, our own dances, we make the dresses, and we make the necklaces that go with it, hair ties, mink ties.
Mink ties?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of materials you use for the dresses?
Well, for the apron, you use either muslin or whatever light material to make the apron part, and then for the wraparound, it's deer hide, white or brown.
And what kind of materials do you put on the deer hide?
Oh, shells, mostly shells, because that's in our area, and we got beads. Bear grass, pine nuts, and different shells that we have in our area, and beads, just all different color beads. Well, all depends what color they want to use. That's the color of beads they use. Red and white, green and yellow, or green and black, whatever the colors are going to be. Like my granddaughter's all red and black and white.
We're a community in recovery, and I think recovering nicely. Native Americans in the United States are less than 2% of the population. So of that 2%, it used to be 2% that were somewhat functional. The rest of the tribes, some tribes have rates, 98% alcoholism rates, and loss of access that most people take for granted. Things like electricity, running water, heating with a heater and not wood. A lot of those things that's still the lifestyle, but with the advent of computers and DSL and satellites, people are getting online, and cell phones finally, just in this last year, are reaching out to reservation areas. That's been a huge problem for Native people living in remote, rural areas. None of the utility companies have wanted to set up none of the utility companies have wanted to set up the infrastructure to provide telephone service, to provide electricity to the remote rural areas, again because of numbers. The numbers are so small and so scattered. But collectively, now with the casinos, Native people have money. They can hire lawyers. They're encouraging their young people to go to universities. And for the first time since colonization, are getting the young people that go off to universities to come back home and to apply their education to furthering the tribe.
Tell me about the modern Daisy.
Well, I like to dance hip hop. I mean, I can really get down and do some moves. I am studying now for an AS in restaurant management, as I hope to open my own resort one day, hopefully in the Klamath area, and help generate money back for my people that way.
But there was a magnificent history of people here. Thousands of years, 10,000 years. The mouth of the Columbia River was an international city for the West Coast. International city. They were once federally recognized Indians. Now they're disenfranchised because the government says they're no longer Indians. We've been working with other California tribes over the years, and there's over 90,000 of us that are not federally recognized. And the Senate set up a congressional committee. They did a 7-year study on California Indians, and nothing to this day has come about that recognize all those 90,000 Indians. Tolwa Nation that I belong to has been in petition since 1983.
Now we're in 2007. I think the last 2 or 3 years have seen a dramatic shift in Native American women assuming leadership positions. Some of the rancherias that are right here in Sonoma County, 2 or 3 that I know of, Pinoleville is one. It's the whole tribal council is all women. Robinson, the chairperson, is a young woman. They're like 30-somethings.
It was all over the bridge naming, actually. There's a bridge down in Garberville that they were going to name after a family, but then when they looked into it, the family had people in their background that had massacred Indians, and so they decided against that. And I had seen several things in the paper about Wailakis, how they were treacherous murderers and the bad, all these bad stories, when I knew it's not true, but we were also told when we were young, don't bring it out in the open, it's not good for you to be an Indian, so don't bring it out in the open. So that's how it came about, and we actually had a supervisor state in the paper that it would not be Wailaki Pass, or just around a year ago. And as of today, Don Tuttle, the Public's workman, he is putting it in as Wailaki Memorial Pass. So we came through, and the reason to do that was we want to honor our ancestors. I think in my heart that's one of the biggest things too, is to honor our ancestors. And